4 keynote addresses will be held, as well as technical session and parallel session also will be held in this 2 days conference. We acknowledge the authors for their valuable contribution. We specially thanks to our Suraj Ghode sir and Renuka Kelka madam and all teaching and non-teaching staff and all dear students for their devoted assistance in the overall organization of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for presenting the preface of this conference. Now, I would like to invite and request our Honorable Principal, Dr. Suhas Kumar Patil, sir, to share a few words regarding this conference and to present a welcome speech.
Brahmapita Sinasanasta, my most reverend excellency, honorable chairman of this international multidisciplinary conference, great administrator, philosopher, and motherly thinker, honorable Professor Dr. Meena Rajivji Chandavarkar, former Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Women University, and now Chairman NCT SRC New Delhi. Our chief guest and keynote speaker of inaugural function, international personality, great academician and motivational speaker, Senior Professor Honorable H.D. Karunaratne sir, Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. My Gurudev, my elder brother, my guide, great thinker, film actor, TV serial Kalakar, our guest of honor and keynote person, Professor Kalpesh Kumarji Pathak, former Vice Chancellor, Indian Institute of Teacher Education, Gandhinagar, and now member of National Council for Teacher Education, WRC, New Delhi. Technical session keynote person, Dr. Prachi Rahul Chaudhary. She is a motivational speaker. Co-convener, Professor Avinash Kohleji, all member of Board of Studies in Education, all principals, professors, all invitees, delegates, research scholars, all the members of organizing, review, and advisory committee, and my dear students. International Multidisciplinary Conference on the various approaches and current issues in higher education is being jointly organized by Government College of Education, Yavatmal, Jagadamba Mahavidyalaya, Chalpur City, and Board of Studies in Education, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. Honorable Sir, research is an important part of education. Research is required to bring innovation in each subject. This international conference has been organized from this necessity to learn various approaches and current problems in higher education and discuss the open platform in this regards. On behalf of organization committee, as a convener of this international conference, I warmly welcome all the eminent professors, researchers, and academicians in the field of research. I warmly welcome all the dignitaries on the dais and those who are joined virtually, whose presence among us provides tremendous encouragement to all of us. We are looking forward to hear you all, sir. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. I welcome all the delegates and research scholars from all corners of international level who spontaneously shared more than 200 research papers for this international conference. I owe to offer my sincere thanks to all the generous personalities. At last, I welcome respected principal, professors, all the members of organization, review and advisory committee who has dared to organize this international multidisciplinary conference in our institution. Thank you for generating this opportunity to us. I welcome my colleagues and students of my college who are working hard to turn this conference into success. Thank you, everyone. I wish you all the success in your life and a very pleasant stay in Yavatmal city. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. We are indeed privileged to have such a visionary leader guiding this institution and its members. Now, we are moving forward to a special segment. It's time to introduce the distinct guests who have graced us with the presence today. To do the honor, I would like to call upon respected Professor Dr. Dilip Channawar sir to introduce our esteemed guest. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. At the start of our day, I bow to Saraswati Mata, the goddess of wisdom, and extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, respected delegates, esteemed guests, and valued colleagues. Welcome to today's International Multidisciplinary Conference on various approaches and current issues in higher education, an event that brings together some of the brightest minds and most dedicated professionals from around the world. Myself, Dr. Dilip Channawar, Professor, Government College of Education, Yavatmal. We are truly fortunate to have Honorable Respected Dr. Meena Raju Chandavarkar ma'am, who is the Honorable Chairperson of today's conference, for guiding our discussion and shaping the direction of this conference. Please join me in warmly welcoming her. As she started her career as a probationary officer in Union Bank of India, later she switched over to the field of higher education and served in various capacities like Principal Director, UGC Academic Staff College, Karnataka University, Dharwad. She is the Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Women's University, Bijapur. And currently, she is the Chairman of NCT SRC, New Delhi, and National Joint Secretary of Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, Nagpur. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you very much being with us today. It is the great pleasure and profound honor that I stand before you to introduce our keynote addresser for this prestigious senior professor, Dr. H.D. Karunaratne, sir. He is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, Chairman of the Governing Council, Institute of Policy Studies, Sri Lanka, Vice President of Sri Lanka Economics Association, and a recipient of Foreign Minister Commendation of the Government of Japan, former Director, Institute of Human Research Advancement and founding coordinator, Doctor of Business Administration Program, University of Colombo, Senior Professor and former Head of the Department of Business Economics, Faculty of Management and Finance, University of Colombo, former Dean, Faculty of Management and Finance, University of Colombo in the year 2011-2014, and invited Professor, Faculty of Economics, Hosai University. Respected sir, you have so many other achievements that if we give an honor, we give an hour, it will still not be enough. Thank you very much, sir. The next person, we will honor our second keynote addresser, Professor Dr. Kalpesh Ji Pathak, sir, who is physically present here. Let's extend a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Kalpesh Kumarji Pathak, sir, who is the member of Western Regional Committee, WRC of NCT from 2023. Chairman of NAC peer team, JRM for UP for CSSTE by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, New Delhi. As member of Scrutiny Committee of Application received in Teacher Education by NCRT, New Delhi. As member of Department Advisory Committee of Teacher Education, NCRT, New Delhi. Member of Academic Council and Research Council, IITE. Ex-member of Executive and Governing Council, IITE. Ex-member of one of the Board of Studies in Education Faculty of Veer Narmad, South Gujarat University, Surat, and was member of for 2 terms. Sir played main role in Gujarati TV serial and also participated in more than 100 plays in so many capacities. And he is also guided 3 MPhil students and 4 PhD students. Once again, welcome sir, and thank you very much to being with us. Now it is my honor and privilege to introduce the next dignity for today's proceeding. That is our third keynote addresser, Dr. Prachi Rahul Chaudhary ma'am. Ma'am is delivered so many speech as in many countries as a well-known motivational speaker. She is selected as a member of SCF, National Education Policy 2020, State Curriculum Framework Development Plan at Maharashtra State Council of Educational and Training, Pune. Selected as a member for development of study material of task under National Education Policy 2020. Ma'am delivered 75 lectures on science and technology for class 10 students and as a committee member for curriculum design of diploma in elementary education in MSERT Pune, that is Vidya Pradhikaran. Active participation in preparation of question papers of mathematics and science. She is also primarily education diploma courses in the preparation of guide and books for questionnaires at Maharashtra State Examination Council Pune. She's active participation as an expert trainer in the training program. She also published many articles on the guidance of science subject. And last but not least, she published 4 books on various titles. Thank you, ma'am. As I wrap up, I want to thank you all for your time and attention. I am excited to be here and look forward to learning, growing, and contributing alongside you. Let's make this conference a memorable and impactful experience. Thank you very much, and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful introduction. We are truly blessed to have such esteemed personalities among us, whose presence will surely elevate the discussion throughout this conference. Now, it's time to celebrate the culmination of intellectual efforts. We are delighted to announce the release of the International Conference Journal. This journal is a reflection of the research in the field of higher education. I request all the respected dignitaries present here to please do the honor and unveil the journal. Please, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Before proceeding to the keynote address, I kindly request to all the respected dignitaries to accept the seats arranged in front of them. Please, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, to deepen the understanding of the theme of the conference, we are privileged to have with us our keynote speaker, Honorable Respected Dr. H.D. Karunaratne sir, who have joined us virtually. I kindly request sir to deliver the keynote address. Please, sir. May I request to Dr. Honorable Respected H.D. Karunaratne sir, please deliver the keynote address. Due to some circumstances, we are taking the presidential address prior to the rest of the session. For this, we are honored to hear from the presiding officer of the conference, Honorable Dr. Meena Rajiv Chandavarkar ma'am. I kindly request ma'am to deliver the presidential address. Please ma'am.
Good morning to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes ma'am.
Thank you. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Professor Karuna Ratneji, who will be joining us a little bit later. Honorable Professor Pathakji, a member of the WRC of NCT New Delhi. Dr. Prachi ji, convener, Dr. Suhas Patil ji, the co-convener, and all the distinguished research scholars, teachers, professors, and members of the management who are here and who have taken a lot of interest in organizing this 2 days multidisciplinary conference. Greetings to all. Sarvana Namaskar. At the outset, I congratulate the management, the convener, and all the teachers, all the learners who are present here for organizing such a conference. As we all know that technology is now a part of our life, and it's nice to see that in today's conference, in hybrid mode, many have joined online and many are offline too. So to put in a nutshell, all are showing their interest, their desire, their enthusiasm to learn. And such conferences with so many research papers, more than 200 registrations are there, as was announced earlier. So with such a active participation of all educationists, it is important to realize that such get-togethers, such thinking, such contribution of innovative ideas, all are very, very important for facing confidently the challenges of the 21st century. India is a home, as we all know, to many, many renowned institutions. But still, we all are aware of the fact that the overall quality of higher education is distributed unequally. We have more than 1,000 universities and more than 40,000 colleges. It is such a complex arrangement, but still, there are problems, there are issues, there are challenges which have to be discussed again and again, and solution to them has to be found out. Unless and until this is done, the use of or the impact of such conferences will not be visible. Higher education, it refers not only to the undergraduate or the postgraduate students or institutions offering them. It has a much deeper meaning. It refers to the pursuit of higher objectives in higher education in their lives, and also a search, a genuine search, a deep rooted search for truth. This being so, it is ideally, it is the responsibility of each college or university or institution of education, offering education, to produce good quality human resources to meet the challenges of the changing global scenario, the current and future needs, and also the diverse fields of human endeavor. It may be progress in science and technology, or it may be in a broader concept, the defense services, the economy of the nation, or the developments in humanities and social sciences. Whatever it is, another important aspect is about the use of natural resources, for which our great nation is well known, and it is supremely blessed with huge natural resources. So all these together form the crux of the educational, um, uh, the tour, we may say, the educational endeavor. This being so, it is necessary that sustainable use of all the challenges, all the resources available, along with the the special feature of our nation is about the population, the challenges arising out of the demographic changes. It may be segments of population broken by age, by sex, by income, and so on. So making good quality education affordable and accessible to all, no matter what is their age, no matter to which uh, segment they belong to, no matter what their income is, making it available to all, that is a very, very important aspect. Hence, an organic and purposeful growth of our campuses, avoiding repetitive and non-innovative cancerous growth of knowledge domains is a must. So with this small introduction, I would like to start. I would like to present my PowerPoint uh, and start this here. Please allow me to present my PowerPoint. It says host is disabled. Please allow me to share my PowerPoint. Organizers, I request you all please to allow me to share my PowerPoint. It says it is disabled. Is there any technical error, technical issue? Double. As we all know, evolution is the core attribute of all living beings. And educational institutions are also organic entities, hence subject to evolution. When we speak of evolution, it refers to all the changes, all the developments of living organisms. They may be plants, animals, human beings, since so many thousands of years, from simple early forms to more developed and advanced ones as we are in today. Just to speak about some few points, we had the ancient Gurukul system more than thousands of years ago, but now the Gurukul system in a different form, we see the imparting of education, which is there in all our educational institutions. We have seen over 20 committees who have worked and who have been involved in education policies in our country. To start with, from 1948, Dr. Radhakrishnan's committee, to the recent NEP 2020, led by Dr. Kasturi Rangan. So evolution, right from the Gurukul system till today and in future also, will go on. And this is something which we have to essentially understand. The NEP 2020, we all know, is an attempt to repurpose education and to withstand local and global competitions. It is no more just local, it is global also. So the essence of the NEP 2020 is the multidisciplinary approach. Not only the multidisciplinary, but also a holistic approach. Holistic, which means not only academic, but emotional and spiritual, and all aspects of education have to be considered. So another important aspect of NEP is experiential learning, learning by doing, which Mahatma Gandhi ji had expressed many years ago. It will be a reality. And all the colleges, we have already implemented experiential learning in our teaching, in our pedagogy, in our teaching learning process. Emphasis on research and innovation being the crux of today's necessity, it is also a part of the NEP 2020. Together with creativity, no innovation can take place without creativity or critical thinking. So combined with a conceptual understanding of what is to be studied, how it is to be implemented, and how it is to be taught, and how the student will grasp the conceptual understanding with the extensive use of technology. That is the focus, as is known to everyone. So we must be thinking, why was the necessity of this education policy? When we see the parameters of India in comparison, some few parameters only I have taken in comparison with other countries. Say, for example, the Human Development Index. Out of 193 countries, we are at the 134th position today. When we speak of population, we are at number 1 position. But when we speak of the human development of the same population, we are at 134, as compared to China at 75 and Malaysia at 63. So isn't it ironical that we speak of a rich population, but we are not able to ensure that the human development of that population is at a high level. Similarly, the Global Innovation Index rank, out of 133 countries, we are at number 39 as compared to China at 11 and Malaysia at 33. So this is just a small view of what was the necessity of the education policy, the 2020 education policy. So along with that, research output, we all in today's scenario, the research output, we are, as compared to the research output, we are at the 4th position. Nobel Prizes 5, employability at 54.81%, which means the remaining 46 and odd percent, they are not able to, they have a degree, but they are not suitable for employment. They are not employable. The formally trained workforce is at a very, very meager percentage of 3.7 as against 97% in South Korea. So where are we is something which we have to really, it is a matter of grave concern and we have to really think of. By 2035, all the education institutions, we have to be independent and self-governing as is enshrined in the NEP policy. So we have to be pioneers of a higher education model that is not only just the best in the world, but also the best for the world. Not only the best in the world, but also best for the world. And we do have that competency. We do have that ability. We do have the resources. But what is stopping us is something we have to understand. Some critical issues are of enhancing the GER from 28.4% in 2024 to 50% by 2035, enhancing the gross enrollment ratio. Another critical issue is focus on skilling youth. The youth are rich demographic dividend after the 10th and the 12th grades, because our youth is our Youngistan, and it is this Youngistan which can make a better Hindustan. So focus on skilling the youth. It is of critical importance. Outdated curricula, recruitment of competent faculty, quality of research, all these are a matter of concern, and the compelling necessity of working towards inclusive excellence at every level is very important. What do we mean by inclusive excellence? An institution which is successful, its success is measured by its values, by how it engages and how it includes the rich diversity of students, of faculty, of alumni, and also of the staff, of the administrative staff. So unless we have a good diversity of human resource in our organization, we cannot reap the best. And that is why one of the parameters in the NAC assessment is also about the diversity of students and of faculty. So it is very essential that restructuring and repurposing our education system has to be given thought of and has to get priority, not to be just thought of, but it has to get priority. So new classification of human knowledge, evolving new courses with a multidisciplinary approach, redesigning teaching learning and assessment pedagogies according to today's needs, according to the students' needs, and according to our faculty competencies. Redesigning is very essential. Preparation of outcome-based curriculums. We have to see the impact, we have to see the outcome, and the curriculum will be effective only we think about the future when we have a future vision. Promotion of relevant research, creativity, and innovation. All these are the subject matter of this 2 days conference which is being organized. So to take a quick view from the Gurukul period, it was the teacher and the students alone. All the students, they had a high respect for their guru, for their teacher. There was no timetable, there was no curriculum, but the guru or the teacher with his lifestyle, with his focus, with his activities, he inspired all the students. Teaching and learning covered all aspects of life. It is said 64 types of skills were imparted to the guru, but there was no specific curriculum for that, including the uh, physical involvement with sports and other activities. So emphasis was on a healthy mind and a healthy body. In those days, it was teacher centric, that is Acharya Kendrit, in a very, very happy and very joyful ambience, Anand Kendrit and Adhyayan Kendrit. The learning oriented approach was there. Friends, let us remember that a rainbow appears not because it wishes to appear, but because circumstances are favorable for it to appear. When we see the beautiful 7-colored rainbow in the sky, what is the circumstance because of which the rainbow appears? It is the sunlight and the rain both come together, and we see a beautiful rainbow manifest itself. If this rainbow of excellence is to come in our colleges and universities, we have to create an atmosphere by which automatically the rainbow of excellence, the rainbow of a good education will manifest itself in our uh, in our um, in our among our students and the faculty. We have seen tremendous progress in science and technology. All our industrial revolutions, from industrial revolution number 1, now we are at industrial revolution number 5. So from 1, which was focused on only on mechanization, then 2 on mass production, 3 on automation, 4 on Internet of Things, and 5, which is the present one. The 4th industrial revolution, it focused only on automation decision making, and it was very, very powerful in speed and impact. In the last 10 years, every 10 years, jobs are becoming obsolete, skills are becoming obsolete because of that speed and impact. And now in the 5th industrial revolution, we can say focus is on collaboration between humans and machines. Between humans and humans is necessary, but now humans and machines also. These are some of the examples which have brought a revolutionary change in our lives. The Internet of Things, Internet of People, and Internet of Services. Digitalization is the buzzword of the day. The popular principle of the government of India from minimum government to maximum governance has sought the need of digitalization. We have also seen uh, approaches like or initiatives like Digital India, which is a flagship program of the government with a vision to transfer India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. It aims at information for all. Now we have to ensure that internet access is there, especially in our rural villages. As per the statistics recently published on February 6th, India has yet to come ahead. Across Asia, Malaysia has the highest internet adoption rate at 97.97%, China at 78%, but India is again very low at 55.3%. So we have to come ahead here. At the recently held summit at Paris, Honorable Pradhan Mantri ji, Shri Narendra Modi ji, he mentioned artificial intelligence is developing at an unprecedented speed. It is being adopted and deployed even faster. There is also a deep interdependence across borders, across the countries, and therefore there is a need of global collective efforts to establish good governance and standards that uphold our shared values, address risks, and build trust. Unquote. So, extensive use of technology is today's most important thrust. It has increased efficiency. It requires good skill development. So upskilling, reskilling, continuous learning, and a mindset change, that is very important. I joined as a part-time passbook writer in 1973 with Bank of India. Today, we all have not heard of any human beings writing passbooks. So upskilling, reskilling, relearning, and continuously learning, that is the need of the hour. IIT Kharagpur researchers have made Sanskrit accessible with artificial intelligence, combining machine learning techniques and traditional linguistic knowledge from Sanskrit. Isn't this really something unimaginable? Which it was really unbelievable few years back, but today they have made it possible. Let us remember, humans will be only required to handle disruptions or if there are any errors, for monitoring and for corrective actions. Otherwise, all our activities will be taken over by the machines. Hence, learning to learn, unlearn, and relearn is indispensable. This will be our future workforce if we are not serious about upgrading ourselves in technical knowledge. So we need energized faculty, not just faculty, energized, enthusiastic faculty. So shikshan, as we say, shikshan means pratikshan shikshan. At every moment of our living, every moment of our life, we have to continuously learn. Age should not be a barrier for this. So igniting this urge to learn and continuous upgradation of skills through such training programs, they are very essential today. Deputation, ongoing deputation for faculty development. There should be no full stop for deputation for faculty development. They not only increase the knowledge, but they also have increased the motivational capacity of the persons attending. So to establish a kicking presence through our participation and through outstanding research is something which we require today. So adoption, let us adopt a lifetime learning mindset. Let us not feel that we have retired. Let us not feel that I'm too young, or let us not feel I'm too old. There are no jobs for life. Nothing is permanent in life. The pandemic has taught us a crucial lesson, because of which today we are talking online, we are having classes online, we are conducting experiments online. The next wave of destruction by creation may, in fact, bring more destruction than creation. Let us be prepared. Let us upgrade ourselves. Let us be prepared for this, to face this situation, because we all know that a teacher touches the future. We never know which scientist or which poet or which entrepreneur is there in our class. We have to inspire them, we have to motivate them, and we have to be a facilitator, a mentor, a guide, and a lifelong learner. A lifelong learner. As teachers, let us remember we are gigantic in potential, but let us not be Lilliputian in reality. I hope everyone agrees. So if we give good student support, I'm sure the creative potential in them, it can definitely be exposed. So some examples like providing incubation centers for entrepreneurship skills, for creative projects, for startups, they could help our student. Blending physical and digital internships, work experience with corporates, with government departments, they will also add a lot to the knowledge of our students. Encouraging them to experiment, let them make mistakes, let them burn their fingers, but let them know how to actually learn through equity trading in the market. That is one area where they may make mistakes, or even for learning, through learning music, learning any sort of art, they may make mistakes there. Or it could be just mushroom cultivation. Some mistakes may be done, but these mistakes, they are the stepping stones to success. And that is what is required for our student support. A collaborative research, cross-cultural and cross-functional, that would also be the need of the hour. We see of so many students, even in today's conference, many students must have presented research papers with in collaboration with others from academia or from industry. So collaborative research is necessary. And for all these, we all as teachers, we have to have effective mentorship. Effective mentorship and good counseling. Let us treat them as our family members. Let us love them. Let us shower our affection on them. And then we can reap the benefit of our rich demographic dividend. These are some of the programs which we are seeing today. Smart materials and systems, green buildings, introduction to embedded system, and so on. These are just a few which have been mentioned here, which are necessary for upgrading or for skilling our students. So focus on research, as I had earlier mentioned, it is essential. It is also mentioned in the national education policy, because research is the root of all quest. Tapo moolam hi sadhanam, as mentioned in our scriptures. Unless and until we do research, unless and until we go to the root of the problem, we cannot contribute. So a very strong research culture and a genuine research culture will be possible through the research intensive universities. We also are aware that the Indian Knowledge System Division has been opened in the Ministry of Education, and a National Research Foundation has been set up. So research leads to knowledge, knowledge leads to transformation, transformation not only of the faculty and the students, but also of our nation and also of the globe. So multidisciplinary research, when we speak of multidisciplinary, it could be an ideal combination, whether you are an art student or you are a commerce student or a medical student or a student of the horticulture university, or a farmer, or a person who is involved in handloom industry. So ideal combination of arts, of soft skills, of scientific, vocational, and professional subjects, it is necessary. So some multidisciplinary initiatives which have been taken in already in our country, IIT Kharagpur, besides the one which I have already told you earlier, They have started a school of medical science and technology. IIT Delhi has a department of humanities and public policy. JNU has a program combination of biology, Ayurveda, and Sanskrit. Can we ever imagine biology, Ayurveda, and Sanskrit? Skill Gurukuls have been set up by IIT alumni in 26 places. See, these are the wonderful examples of how creativity has made them successful entrepreneurs. We have heard of Ola and Uber. Today, life in big cities is impossible or difficult without Ola and Uber. We have heard of Swiggy and Zomato, and we are actually using Paytm and other platforms for making online payments. So all these just are a proof of the fact that he who sees the invisible, he who hears the inaudible, and he who believes the incredible can definitely do the impossible. And these persons, they have definitely converted ordinary into extraordinary and impossible into possible. Just two examples in agriculture I would like to give, because India has 70% of Indians, they live in their villages and they are dependent on agriculture. One example is from Karnataka, the other one is from Maharashtra. Mr. Mallappa Katti, he has got a Rohini biochem micro inputs industry, in which socio-economic development of farmers is focused by him by not undermining the physical, biological, and chemical properties. With an excellent infrastructure, with state-of-art laboratory and manufacturing facility, he has a committed manpower of 120 field staff with cell phones. They offer pioneering mobile soil and water testing. Isn't it really, really appreciable? Second example is of another farmer, Mr. Keshav Hole, who stays near Pune, and he out of 7.5 acres of irrigated land, he grows muskmelon, watermelon, marigold, and cucumber with the help of technology. And he is also active on Facebook and WhatsApp. Local expertise of our local artisans, who are the backbone of India's non-farm rural economy. We say global through local. First, we have to make the local artisan, we have to make them strong, and we have to make them reach the global corners to market their products. So here we see the Katha work from West Bengal. We see the Bidri work from Bidar in Karnataka, the blue pottery of Jaipur, and also the skilled sculpture of some of the caves. So all this important vocational knowledge developed in India, it should be made available to our students so that their art, their skills, their aptitude, and all are not only given to them, but it is sharpened. So transparent and fair governance is another aspect of our another aspect of giving good education. It is a very important issue in the when we speak of issues in education today. See, we should have a visionary leadership, a leader who is not bothered only about the time when he will be the leader, but about the future also, because he has to foster global competencies among all his human resources, not only his staff, but also the students. Besides, he also has to have a strong value system for which a teacher is known. A teacher ideally should be known. A strong value system, whether it is transparency in working, whether it is time management, or whether it is any other aspect of teaching. So, contributing to the national development in short, for moving from good to better and better to best, that is a critical necessity today. There are many challenges regarding teachers, regarding recruitment, regarding enhancement of their competencies. We have refresher programs and orientation programs in academic staff colleges, now known as HRDCs. But how many of the teachers are serious about them is something we have to address. Teachers may also be reluctant to accept change. They may not be able to accept technology. They may not be able to accept the change. They don't want to come out of their comfort zone. To add to all this, the digital divide has added to the distance between the teacher and the student because of lack of contact with the student. So, how do we address such issues is something this conference has to think about. In a very motivating, a very inspiring ambience in our campus, in our classroom, is very essential because it influences the human behavior. So we have to be on par as far as infrastructure is concerned, as far as ambience of learning is concerned, we have to be on par and ahead of the world. So retaining our students and attracting the best from other competitors, that is a big challenge today. So India has to be the much sought after destination, just as it was many years ago with the Takshashila and Nalanda universities. Today also, we have to regain that position. So, most importantly, dear friends, let us remember that we have to develop good human beings and not just machines. Machines are necessary for us to work, but the final product of all these use of machines is to develop good human beings. So, a change in the attitude and the mindset of our teachers, of our researchers, using technology, using new methods of pedagogy, being a good mentor, all this will definitely help us to make our great nation Bharat, our great nation India, Atmanirbhar or self-reliant and restore her role as the Vishwa Guru, the global leader. So from good to better and better to best. Let us remember good, better, best, never let it rest till our good is better and our better is best. And always realizing that we can better our best. If we have attended 5 conferences this year, next year we can attend 7 conferences, and that would be bettering our best. Isn't it easy? It's not at all difficult. And with these few words, I take this opportunity to the convener and to all the management and all concerned to have given me this opportunity of addressing you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring word. May your leadership continue to inspire and guide the progress of higher education.
It is my pleasure, madam. I am a teacher and I always will be a teacher. You can have a former vice chancellor, you may have a former minister, but you will never have a former teacher. And we are all teachers and we continue to inspire and to motivate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, again. Now, I request Honorable Dr. Kalpesh Kumarji Patak, sir, to deliver the keynote address. Please, sir. Please, sir.
Respected Chandavarkar Madam, respected Karunaratne Sir, respected Preeti Ma'am, respected my dear friend Dr. Patil Ji, all respected teachers, all who are going to be respected teachers in the future. Now it's a time to joy because I have seen the teachers, those who are very serious. And the teachers, they were not at all very serious in our Gurukul system. The teachers were serious about upbringing of their disciples, but they were not serious in their lives, in their conduct, in their behavior to the students. But nowadays, I have seen the teachers are very serious in the classroom, the teachers are very serious in the society, and the teachers are very serious. Why? I don't know. Now, my concern is very simple. It is the role and responsibilities in achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. My very simple question to all. Who is prime in education? Who is prime? Who is on the top of education? Can you answer? As an educator, who is on the topmost? The primary teacher is the primary teacher, but whenever we think of the hierarchy, then the teacher educators are at the top. That we have forgotten. We have to understand the significance of teacher educators because teacher educators are very silent. You cannot find the teacher educators very popular among the society. But the teacher educators, they teach such teachers, those who are going to be popular in the society. Because the teacher educators never get the result very instantly. Years 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however you count. But the teacher educators will not have such popularity which we will find the teachers of other faculties. But the teacher educators are teachers, those who are very different in all, because they are educating teachers. And that is why I say in higher education, the responsibility of developing the higher education must be shared and must be shouldered by teacher educators. And then we will have the such multidisciplinary, that is called environment in the institution. This is the faculty where you may find at least the teacher having the two disciplines. The one is that is in academics, another is in teacher education. Elsewhere, you cannot find the teachers having the multiple disciplines. At least we have the two disciplines. We better understand that is what is the multidisciplinary environment, because we have the teachers from the science faculty, commerce faculty, arts faculty, and then education. And that's why we must shoulder the responsibility of achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. Now, we all people, those who are standing in front of you, they may witness 2047 or not. But those who are sitting on the last benches of this classroom, I say classroom or the hall, they are going to see what will be 2047. We people can assure you what can be 2047. But the dream will be in your hands to make it reality. We may say that this is what we need in India. This is what we can do for this particular country. We must say it's Bharat. But at the same time, who is going to bear responsibility of getting it on the front? That you people, those who are prospective teachers nowadays in the institutions. And that's why whenever just I look at NEP 2020, then if I am to say something, then this is again to be in my article, that vision of this policy is very clear. And whenever we look at the vision, then you try to understand what exactly the responsibility of the teachers as a whole. Now, the national education policy envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos. That is the first thing. That is Indian ethos. What is Indian ethos? As we welcome, it was the Indian ethos. And Indian ethos is not fragmented in religions. Please keep in your mind. The religion is religion. But at the same time, whenever we say it's an Indian ethos, because we think of Indian subcontinent, and that was whenever we look back the 5,000 years back, then what happens? This particular South Indian, that is Plato, it was one in all. It is not going to be called as one dharma. It was the dharma of Manav, and Manav dharma was there. And still the Manav dharma is the real essence of Indian ethos. And that is why the first word used in NEP 2020 is the Indian ethos. It is not Hinduism, it is not Islamic, it is not of Christianity, it is not of. If you go to Pakistan, you may find the Indian ethos. If you go to Malaysia, any of the countries of the South Asian region, you may find the Indian ethos. And that is why we have to make Indian ethos up, because all other ethos which are going uplifted by the people, those who are observing their faiths. Now, second one, very specifically, it is written in NEP 2020, the Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat. Now, how the India comes? God knows. The Indus Valley, and from the Indus Valley, we are called Indian, and we are the India, and somehow the people may not be able to understand what exactly Bharat. That is why they are simply stamped, okay, you are India. But now we have to make it Bharat. And that is why in NEP 2020, it is specifically said that is Bharat. Now, equitable and vibrant knowledge society. These are very important words in NEP 2020. We have to say what is equitable and what is vibrant. And again, knowledge, vibrant knowledge society. And as I look at this particular word, then the vibrancy in the knowledge, I find almost in teacher educators. The people, they may agree with or don't agree with. But at the same time, the teacher educators are pivot for the vibrant knowledge society. But there is condition. If the teacher educators are teacher educators in the real sense, not the teacher educator of science, not the teacher educator of social science, not the teacher educator of languages, not the teacher educator of economics, but teacher educators as a whole, we can make the vibrant knowledge society. Now, have you found such an institution where the teacher of any of the subjects of sciences and the teacher of any of the subjects of social sciences, they are sitting together in one room? No, we don't find. We have very specific, and this is the colonial approach, that we want to make the economics as economics, sociology as sociology, psychology as psychology. And that is why those who have studied psychology, they simply focus on psychology only. But as and when we find the teachers, those who are sitting in teacher education institutions, they are talking about the numbers of subjects at a moment. And when they talk, automatically it is going to get percolated within who? The teachers, prospective teachers of the college. So that is why this is the mere very important concern of NEP 2020, that is to have the vibrant knowledge society. Now, again, one more word, the global knowledge superpower. I have observed, I was have some good notions from our own system that how we are becoming the principles in psychology. This is not from me, but our late professor, Shastri sir, he was Jayendra Shastri ji, he was giving us very good example. He gave us the example that the latest in psychology, it is said that there are three in human beings. See, keep in your mind, because psychology has taught us that there is a child and there is adult within us. But the latest psychology, almost in the last decade of 20th century, they simply say there are three. There are three in human, and that is in personality, whatsoever we call it, that it is child, parents, and adult. Now, what is parents? This is the most important aspect of human development. Why the children are not going to get developed? Because of this reason, because the parents are there, the upbringing is always in hands of parents. The parents, they matured at the some level. It means at the specific level, at the specific age and the specific environment. Now the child lives in very different environment. So he gave us very good principle, that these principle we may observe in psychology in the last decade of 20th century, but it was given by Lord Buddha. Shastri sir, he was very elaborately telling us that there was one disciple. Now see, what is the multidisciplinarity, and that we have to understand from our Gurukul system. The one disciple went to Lord Buddha, and he simply prayed the Lord that, Guru, I am not able to get anything that is progressive, developed, or I cannot think beyond. At that moment, Gautam Buddha gave one principle, and that was in 3 words: Mataro, Pitaro, Hantva. You kill your parents within you. And that's why in our Indian Gurukul system, the teacher, only person in the world that says, in Gujarati we call it Savayo Tha. It means my disciple must be more than me. Do you find any of such faculties in the world where the teacher wishes that you be more than me? This is what the culture, and that is called the vibrant knowledge society. And we people can bring the vibrant knowledge society. The teacher is only who? That can praise the disciple, that can praise the growth of their disciples, their shishyas, their students. The rest of, I don't think that it may be. The teacher of any subject. If you find the teacher in medicine, that teacher will also think that my student will progress, and he will be happy when he or she finds the students grown somewhere else. Now, these are the concerns. And after having these concerns, NEP has pointed out what we can do and how we can enrich our education system, higher education system, and that is with curriculum and pedagogy. That is the very specific word. The pedagogy is the word used almost for teaching, but at the same time, I simply divide these 2 words, that pedagogy and andragogy. Now, the pedagogy is the art and science of teaching up to 16, and beyond 16, that is andragogy. There are principles of andragogy, and that is why in our Gurukul system, it was very specific that those who were little senior, they were given the task of teaching junior. So that is why automatically they can improve their information regularly. And that's why the curriculum and pedagogy is a concern of the teachers. Now here in our country, in colonial views, that the curriculum is designed by the people, those who are mastered the knowledge, we call it. And simply the pedagogy, we teachers always believe that whatever you want to prescribe, it is only in our hands. That it is only in our hands. That's how we can run the classroom. Correct? Do you agree or not? All the teachers will agree that whatsoever is prescribed, but it is in the hands of execution of that curriculum. And that curriculum is the most important for the transaction. And that's why the curriculum and pedagogy is so important for the teachers and the teaching system. Now that curriculum here, just I take the liberty to get you understand what exactly authentic material. This is the one word which is the most important. Now, whatever you find the authentic for the region of this Maharashtra in Nagpur district, that may not be authentic in Pune. Whatever you find the authentic in the area, Gujarat, you may not find it authentic somewhere else because there is local need. There is local need. And local needs mix because the all cultures are different as a whole. We say it's an Indian culture, but at the same time, whenever just we have the culture, rituals everywhere, in part of India, we have the thousand millions of cultures within. And again, if that effect is not given to the curriculum, I am sure the students are not going to learn anything out of it. So that is why the curriculum must be local. And whatsoever is prescribed, it's a responsibility of the teachers to understand what exactly curriculum is. And the teacher is to draw the content of that particular curriculum. And looking at that particular content, the teacher is to devise the method of teaching. And that is why the pedagogy is the supreme, and the pedagogy is always teacher specific. It cannot never be in general, because the way the teacher teaches in the classroom, if it is not devised perfectly, the teacher cannot be successful. Because if the teacher is going to copy someone else, I am sure that teacher will not be successful. So that is why for the teacher, the whatsoever the principles we have derived from the Shastras, various Shastras, but the pedagogy or andragogy, that is always teacher specific. And whenever you want to be a very successful teacher, have your own system of teaching. You must have the very own thoughts on how to teach the different learners, because the learners are different in every classes. And again, within classes, we have the numbers of learners. They are different in nature. And that is why it is the teacher who is going to make its own pedagogy or andragogy. The principles will be same, but the way the classroom is being handled, they will be different. So that is why this is what the requirement and NEP 2020. Why NEP 2020 is the supreme? Because of they have mentioned each and everything in nut and shell. They have said this is what we need for getting this particular Bharat be Viksit at the rate 2047. Now curriculum pedagogy, but at the same time we know the zebra crossing is the zebra crossing from where we can cross the road. But whenever it is zebra, our behavior is not such. We can cross the road from anywhere. So that is why that zebra doesn't restrict our own behavior. And that is not called the learning. Why? When we will be the Viksit? Viksit, it means whenever such notions are there in which we have to restrict our own behavior and we cannot restrict, then we are not at all cultured. We are not at all learned. We are not at all educated. Whatsoever degrees I have, but they are of no use. And that is why the fundamental duties and constitutional values mentioned in NEP 2020. Now, this is what? Now, whenever just you devise your own system of teaching in the classroom, but at the same time, just these fundamental duties and constitutional values are not observed. How can we? Because we want this particular country as a whole. We don't want to be fragmented. We don't want to be separated from each and everything. From any of the corners of this country, Bharat, anybody, anybody stands up, then if the Bharat is being reflected, then only this is going to be a very purposeful. And this is the responsibility of my dear friends, those who are sitting on the last bench. Even I was very happy because I was one of you when I was the student. So that is why you have the chance to come forward. You will be standing in the front of any of classes and you may be delivering. Otherwise, I was the last in my classroom, always last. Fundamental duties and constitutional duties. And now they have said the conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibilities in a changing world. This is the most significant and the most important thing that is illustrated in NEP 2020. Now the time is dynamic. We are talking about AI. Few days back, just I had one of the student of PG we were talking about. He wanted to do something different, and I handed over one book that was written by some Swami, and that was on linguistics, natural language processing. And again, in natural language processing, I was not aware of that it was based on AI, artificial intelligence. Yesterday, he came to me in the morning, simply said, "Sir, after reading this book, I think that AI cannot help much." He simply said that my student of fourth semester of MSc MAd course, he came to me. He simply said, "Sir, AI is not going to help because the data is fixed." When he went through how the data is being arranged, managed, and again in linguistics we have the verbal phrases and noun phrases, how verbal phrases and noun phrases are separated and they are combined in one syntax, because these are all the terms of linguistics. And after reading all this material, he simply said, "Sir, AI is not enough. AI is going to help us a lot, and that is all in primary work. But for in intellectual work, we teach us how to work." The assessment is there. There may be the assessment. We have passed from all the stages of assessment. And again, just we had the digital assessment. But those who are my friends, we are working in the university, they simply say, "Okay, this assessment is the best." After having the experience of 4 to 5 years, they simply say, "Okay, when you have the answer sheet in front of you, you read the answers and you go with the emotions and their narrations and expressions, and you start enjoying uh, assessing it, then only it's a true assessment." And that is why it is going to be boon. AI is going to be boon. It will lessen our burden. That is called the physical work or each and everything. But the intelligence is going to be prime. It will be prime. Because later, whatsoever come to in AI, it is going to be corrected by who? The human being only. Those who are master in knowledge, they are going to correct it. And that is why the roles and responsibility in changing world, that is the greatest task given in NEP 2020. Now we believe that whatsoever comes through technology, it's only change. Keep in your mind, whenever we have the Apple, they simply gave us the new machine that is called the iPhone or whatsoever, the MacBook or like that. And oh, it's very nice. It's very good. So we are fascinated by what? Updation in technology. We are not fascinated by the way human being progressing. Now this is going to be, you know that some of the syntax are changed and the machine is working differently, and we feel that, okay, it's a better machine and it is little advanced. But what's about our own behaviors? What's about our own nature? What's about our own knowledge? Because it is going to be preserved by machine. As soon as just I am to get I want to retrieve the information from this machine, then I have some of the things and I ask my machine that retrieve this particular information, and the information is retrieved. But will it think? Few days back, our deputy registrar, he was given the task to translate the one speech of English into Hindi. He simply said it was too tedious because the machine was given the numbers of things, and that is why when we started learning the computers, then it was said it's a go, garbage in, garbage out. The whatsoever you provide it to machine, that is going to be retrieved. But at the same time, by looking at the information available on screen, how to tackle it, how to mean it, how to understand it, how to explain it, this is all human. And that is why we are living in a machine age, but the human intelligence is going to be prime in all conditions. And that is why the changing world is there. We have the faster trains, we will have the everything fast, everything fast, everything fast. But human life is going to be very steady. It is from warm to tomb. And for that period, we cannot curtail. So that is why we have the roles and responsibilities in a changing world. Now, deep-rooted pride in being Indian. This is one more concern. Now, this is the classroom from where we can establish, we can simply have our students with due respect to our ownness. And that is why whenever we say it's okay, I am Bharatiya, I am Indian, I am so and so, then whatever the pride we feel, that pride should be instilled among the learners, the children, in a classrooms, in a school classrooms. And that is what the responsibility of our students. Now, that is called the deep-rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought. Because we always say, we are Indian, we are Bharatiya. Jai Hind, we call it. But as and when it is by thought, we repeat it if someone is going to speak. But whenever it comes wholeheartedly, then only it has the true spirit. And that is why it is said not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values. See, this is what the NEP 2020 has explained. I am reading only the vision of the policy. The rest of the things, now it is up to you to read. But whenever just you look at this, only the vision of this policy, you may have the entire spectrum of the education system in front of you. And that is why this is the most important, that what we can do, spirit, intellect, deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. Now, these are the words written in NEP 2020, and that is what envision for future Bharat. Not only the future Bharat, but last three words, which are very important, truly global citizen. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Can you find such vision in any of the documents? In a one paragraph, hardly in 50 words? We never find it. But when we look at it, the common people is not going to understand. The common people will not have the idea of what exactly NEP 2020. And this vision of the policy can be well versed. It means well read by the teachers only. And again, the teachers of education, teacher educators, because we teach teachers. We are never teaching the students. Those who are sitting in the last benches, last rows, they are going to be a future teachers. They are prospective teachers. And whatsoever is illustrated in this NEP 2020, that is going to get implemented in their hands, not in our hands, because we are simply going to get them only the content, but at the same time, in real practice, they are going to practice in real classrooms. And that is why this NEP 2020 is for our teachers, future teachers, and the future next generation. But it is the responsibility of this generation to lead them. This is what the very serious note in NEP 2020. Now, okay, I am almost retiring. It means after a few years, I will not be active and may not be in this world after very few years. So 2047 is going to be dream for me. I can only see, okay, it is 2047. And if I am least concerned with my ethos, then I will say, okay, 2047, let it be. Why should I worry? Because I will not be in 2047. No, this should not be the vision of the present generation. The present generation is to think that the whatsoever the one has gained, that is to be transferred to the next generation. Now it is our responsibility to let you know that the glory of Bharat must come back, must come back. And this glory is going to shine this particular country in such a way that the entire world is going to look at the Bharat for getting resolutions of numbers of issues and problems. Now, this is going to be because still our system is such in which we have the solutions. Our system is such in which we think of problem solving. Our system is such in which we always think of progress. Our system is such in which we always think of our next generation. Do you find any American thinking about their children? After 18, the children, they are separated. But the India is the country. The Bharat is there. You travel from north to south. Even just I say, you take any of the nations of South Asian country, the thinking about children, the thinking about the next generation is deeply enrooted in us. Now, whenever we say Mata Pita, huh? The Mata Pita, and then who? Teacher. So that is why it is the responsibility of the teacher to maintain all such things, in which I again back to that reference that we have to teach what? Okay, this is what I'm telling you, but you have to crack it. And that is why Gautam Buddha has said, Mataro Pitaro Hantva. Think of, you think we have not to kill our parents. The parents are going to instill in us. But at the same time, the whatsoever we have imbibed, whatsoever we have imbibed from our parents, it is to be taken as granted, and we have to cross it. We have to kill such a barriers in which we cannot progress, but we have to think of getting progress on in future. Then only we have to think that Mataro Pitaro, everybody is to kill the Mataro Pitaro Hantva. Otherwise, the policeman, the son of policeman will be the policeman. Huh? The son of teacher will be teacher. I am the only teacher in my family. The rest of the family members are not in teaching line. I am the first from my family who enter into higher education. So that is why if I would have followed the path of my parents, I would be somewhere in forest department. I would be somewhere in railway department. I would be somewhere in police department. I would be somewhere in armed forces. Because in our society, the mostly these branches are very popular. And only who from my entire family, I entered into higher education. See, if you simply correct yourself and think about this is the path which I am to invade, and you invade it, I am sure there will be success. But whenever just we follow the path, now this is the generation, okay, the student who is taking the 11th and 12th as a science, then if ask the student, okay, why you are taken 11th and 12th as a science, they will say, my parents have said. This is the common expression. But what you like? I have one of the examples of one of the base scientists of ISRO. He is my friend. And his son failed in 11th science. And the both, his mother was principal of the school, and my friend, he was the scientist, now he is retired. The one day in the night they came and they simply said, okay, the total marks of his 11th science is not crossing the passing marks. He didn't score 35 in all because his interests were different. And they're simply afraid of, scared of that this is what the result of my son is. I am the scientist in ISRO. Then we talk about half an hour, we talk that what are his interests, what he likes to do. Then he was more interested in photography. Now that boy is very successful photographer in Australia. He's earning like anything. See, now the parents wish that is going to somehow somewhere else. I say it is not only the thing where the limit we can, but we can simply say that the parents will always think, okay, have good education, have good salary, get married, settle down in life, and pass your life. This is what at the present we are thinking of. I always say, don't think like that. Give them the opportunity. And now NAP 2020 has said that the sky is the limit. We have to liberate from all our feelings. We have to liberate our students from all our emotions, our ideas, our thinking, our knowledge, whatsoever I have, just we have to liberate. And then there will be vibrant, that is called the one word, that is called the vibrant knowledge society. And nowadays, I have seen numbers of students, they are appearing for good examinations. And this is, I simply give you one name, that is MBA. Mane badhu avde che. In Gujarati we call it. The MBAs are who? The base technocrats are MBA. What is the use of learning the technology? Why you advance in that particular technology? Now you have to be a pioneer in developing the technology instead of making it business. So that is why this is the trend that is very common nowadays in India, that okay, MBA. And after MBA, you may find the MBAs who? Huh? The doctors, you may find MBAs, you may find the engineers, maximum engineers, IITians, they are becoming the MBAs. What is the use of that knowledge? What is the use of that knowledge? The use of knowledge is that is to make this country superpower. There should not be brain drain that we have to think of. The teacher of school, they can better direct their students towards the perfect profession. The school teachers. In higher education, we cannot do anything. We simply pump, nothing else. Okay, we give them books. Okay, read, 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 and read. But as and when it is time to take decision about what exactly the higher education is, then we have to think of higher education is totally indifferent from the school education. School education is not the higher education. The higher education, you may find these are the branches of banyan tree, because we always in our Indian knowledge system, banyan tree is regarded as the knowledge vriksha. And that is why Gnana Rupi Vriksha is banyan tree. In banyan tree, you may find the again, that is from the very last branch of the tree that gives the result. And we have another banyan tree. That is higher education. Knowledge is like what? The very extreme branches of the banyan tree. We may have the different disciplines, but again within the disciplines we have the numbers of subjects, and again within the numbers of subjects there are very specific branches. So that is why nowadays we have the doctor only treating that the heart, nothing else. Angioplasty, then he is doing only angioplasty. The doctor is doing bypass, the doctor is doing bypass. Again, the heart is being balanced by both the doctors. One is doing angioplasty, another is doing bypass. And there are the doctors, those who are healing naturally. There are numbers of doctors. Okay, just you need the bypass, come back. And they are being treated very naturally, and there are successful ratios. See, this is what the knowledge. We have the one problem, there are many solutions. But to identify this particular solution is required is the intelligence. It is the real intelligence, it's a real knowledge. There are chances, okay, some of the doctor, they may say, okay, whatsoever, just I am treating the patient naturally, but at the same time, you need bypass surgery, disciplinary approach. The multidisciplinary approach is not simple, but at the same time, okay, just I am doing the angioplasty, whosoever has come, I do the angioplasty. This is not the multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary, it means there is a holistic view about that particular problem. Holistic view. In education also, we have the holistic view. And education is the only branch where you may find the holistic view. Because the teacher educator is to learn sociology, psychology, philosophy, everything the teacher educator is to learn. Whereas whenever you are in specific branch, then in specific branch you learn only that particular subject. Here we have the MSc chemistry, only chemistry. I have, my institution is multidisciplinary institution. We are offering BSc, B.Ed, BA, B.Ed, MSc, M.Ed, MA, M.Ed courses. In our institution, it's very common that the teacher of organic chemistry will come and he will say, okay, sir, I cannot teach physical chemistry. My goodness, the physical chemistry is the base of organic and inorganic. But the teacher says, okay, just I am expert in organic. No, this is not called the holistic view, because atoms are going to get changed in organic and inorganic. Correct? The molecule is going to be different in inorganic and organic. Where the carbon is there, we call it the organic. When there are no carbons, then only we call it the inorganic. But at the same time, the real science, the holistic view, it means, okay, just I have expertise the organic, but at the same time, I can justify with the physical one. And that is what we need in higher education nowadays. That is why there are few, let me know whenever I have the numbers of things, and again, it may be in a book, but I have said, what are the roles and responsibilities of the teacher of higher education? The first one is curriculum development. We have the curriculum development, but the curriculum is always developed by the top body. They simply prescribe. I take one liberty here. The people may say, okay, just I'm not able to make use of this particular language. There are two types of grammar: descriptive grammar and prescriptive grammar. All we have learned prescriptive grammar, but the mother tongue is the descriptive grammar. We don't know the rules and regulations of making use of that particular language, mother tongue. The mother tongue is having the descriptive grammar, and it is being assimilated by the brain. And that is why there is no need of mug up the rules and regulation of grammar in our mother tongue. But in the second language, we have to. Correct? And that is what system we have developed. Now the modern science of learning the language says that the same system acquiring the language naturally be reactivated for acquiring skills of making use of second language. This is the approach nowadays. But still we are teaching AMISA, present tense and past tense. Now there is no future tense. See, there is no future tense. Future tense doesn't exist, because the brain understands only two things: that information is being received by receptors, it means sensors, and and they are transmitted at the moment. That is called the present tense. The receptors have received the information, stored in the memory, and as and when you require it, you recall it and you retrieve it, then it is called the past tense. These are two processes which brain can understand. No future tense. See, this is what the latest in grammar. But still we are teaching the grammar to the students. And that is why our students have no capabilities of making use of second language. It's only switching on and switching off. If you want to make use of mother tongue, switch it on. If you want to make use of another language, switch it on. But what we do, this is what the lacuna in our own system. And this particular system can be developed in higher education only, not in school education. Because having the capabilities of acquiring the second language is always 12 plus. Before NEP 2020 has said, why they have given the importance to the first language? Why NEP 2020 insists that the child should be sent to the school of their own tongue? I say tongue, mother tongue, whatever we call it. Where there is no environment, you cannot send your children to that particular institution. But our children, they are in our own environment and having the different environment in a English medium institution. I specifically say English medium because we are all have the pride in sending our children into English medium institution. But up to age 12 plus, I have not said. No one has said. The people, those who have developed linguistics, they have said the capabilities of acquiring the skills of making use of second language is always 12 plus. Age of 12 plus. And that is in what? Mother tongue, in first language. And that is why it is called the first language. And there are numbers of things within, but I'm not going to discuss. And here, whenever we develop the curriculum, there must be connotation with what? The local needs. Numbers of things are said differently in different culture, different environment, different region, different linguistic environment, non-linguistic environment. There are numbers of things within. And we are teaching what? As a teacher of higher education, what we do? We simply make a lecture. Teacher of higher education lectures a lot. I know that in a class of 120 and 160, when I was the student in MSc University, then there was one very big theater. We were sitting almost 500 students, and compulsory Hindi and compulsory subjects were taught in that particular room. No teacher dared to turn to the blackboard, because as soon as the teacher was turning to the blackboard, Why and what? That we have to think now. Our content is such in which there is no such power that we can restrict such behaviors. And I have seen some of the teachers in Gujarat University when I was studying. The professor Alok sir was there. He was teaching us Hindi. I was not in Hindi, but he was teaching Hindi and Indian culture. The students of other colleges, they were coming to his classes and he was taking the classes almost for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. The students were attending. So the teachers have to understand. The teachers have to devise the method of teaching in the classroom. And that is known as curriculum transaction. The real word for that is curriculum transaction. So the teacher of higher education, their responsibility lies in what? Curriculum and curriculum transaction. And the curriculum according to local needs. The curriculum that is up to the interest of the students, up to the level of the students. If I am to say something in a class of class 1, in first class, that is called, we call it Dhoran in Marathi, it is Dhoran or not, or Kaksha 1. In Kaksha 1, I cannot deliver the lecture. Again, this is the mixed lot, those who are very senior teachers and those who are going to be teachers. So for me, again, it is little difficult to balance both. But I am to give such examples in which the interest of listeners must be. And that is why the curriculum, I have given the example of medicine faculty. Now, medicine faculty is what? We call it, okay, I am in medicine. Okay, you are not in medicine. You are in multidisciplinary institution because you are learning what? Physiology, anatomy, pharmacology, microbiology. Again, the law, now the medical legal cases are more. So that is why the law is there. So you are learning how many subjects? And all are from the different and specific faculties. I had very good interaction with one of the very leading professor of medical science, and that is again from the Varda. Dige, sir? Dige deemed university. I had very good interaction with one of the professors of medical science. Now she wanted to understand the relation between psychomotor to cognition. Very good teacher. She is the head of the dermatology in that Dige University. We were together and just we had our dinner, and our dinner lasted for 2 hours because we were talking about how to integrate the psychomotor to cognition. The people in higher education, they are going to say it's a cognition. I always say the cognition must be the last. The psychomotor must be the initial. And why the psychomotor? Until you have the naturalization, you cannot have the affection towards. If it is naturalization, then only you can say, okay, I love it. I am crazy for acquiring the information in that particular subject. And that is why we had very good interaction. Now, the teacher from medicine faculty, they need the concepts of what? Teacher education. Are we ready for that? I have delivered numbers of sessions to the numbers of medical institutions where I have taught them the learning theories, where I have taught them the assessment and evaluation, the difference between assessment and how to make the MCQ more competitive. Now, this is the role and responsibility of the teacher of higher education, again, very specifically, the teacher of teacher education, that we can, now everything we have, now LOs and POs and all these things here, we are getting from somewhere else, from MBA. Now, LOs we are not doing. When I was the student of B.Ed, we had the specific objectives. We had the learning outcomes. We had the general objectives. We had the very specific, even for each statement of the question in question paper, even each statement of the question paper, they were linked with the very specific objective. But nowadays, after 40 years, I may find in different. We have the LOs, we have the COs, we have the POs. Number of O's are there. And that is why we people, the teacher of higher education as a whole, we have to sit together. We have to think about how the curriculum can be developed. We have to think about the curriculum is curriculum. Even the teacher of education can read the content of any of the faculties. They can read the content of medicine, they can read the content of the law, because we are more concerned with the nature of the content. We are never concerned with the what is the information, but we are concerned with the nature of the content, and looking at the nature of the content, what programs of teaching should be adapted that we can better instruct. And that is why curriculum development is a basic requirement of nowadays, that is to enrich Bharat for 2047. There are numbers of I have written, but at the same time, there is one word that has attracted me in NAP 2020. That is multidisciplinary environment. NAP 2020 have not said that you must have the multidisciplinary programs. Okay, this is one of the requirements. But the best word I have found in NAP 2020 is that is multidisciplinary environment. Why the environment? The environment is so significant in nurturing the values. I was in Faculty of Performing Arts, MS University of Baroda. I was doing my dramatics, and the rest of the friends were in dance. The rest of the friends were in music, the instruments and vocal. In the evening, we had the multidisciplinary environment. Again, it was within the performing arts, but at the same time, the ones you may find the santur, in another room you find the tabla, in the third room you may find the ragas, in fourth room you may find the something else. So that is why that particular environment nurtures numbers of things within you. Just you will have the respect to other subjects. Nowadays, I have seen mostly my teachers had started telling in my institution to the students, okay, the study botany. The botany is so significant for your life, teacher education. Don't worry about it. The still we have the confrontation. The teacher of other subject, the teacher of English, what is the use of learning mathematics? Okay, just you are not able to learn the mathematics, so that is why multidisciplinary environment can have the holistic purview of and the holistic development of the learners. We will have the respect for other subjects. We will have the some information about the other subjects. If you are learning in one specific subject, then we have not the holistic view about the learning or the information. Everything is interconnected. Nothing is separated. Everything is interconnected. And whenever everything is interconnected, then our approach must be multidisciplinary. And that is why in NAP 2020, the very specifically it is written, if you can read, then you read it, that it is the multidisciplinary environment. We are thinking of the multidisciplinary institutions. Okay, multidisciplinary institutions are required if you want to bring multidisciplinary environment within the campus. And that is why it is the most important. Now, nowadays, and in India, we all are. I'm not out of this particular feeling that he or she is my student. Correct? And that is why we don't have the assessment so deeply and lethargically we check the copies. Okay, my student, my student, my student. I say you don't read. I don't say you don't read or we don't read. But as and when just we have the answer sheet in front of us, the assessment will be little liberal. And this is what the greatest problem in our own higher education system. And that is why the learners, they are very happy. Okay, I always say those who have the numbers of books in their hands to read, they are having the one book in their hands, and the child who is not to carry any of the books, he has a big sachet on his shoulder. This is what the damn reality of education system in our country. We have to think about. And the college student, nothing. I always insist the student of higher education must read at least 200 pages per day. And for that in linguistics, there is a reading mechanism. And for reading 200 pages of the book, if the student of higher education is real student of the higher education, he will need hardly 15 minutes. There are system of scanning and skimming. The scanning and skimming can be developed. Now, these things are to be developed in our teaching learning processes. Give the book of 600 pages, no problem. The student of higher education must read, and that is for UG, at least 200 pages per day. But I am sure those who are sitting on the last bench, Heavy read, I include myself. Huh? So that is why heavy read 200 pages in a day? No, never. Now we have the one more culture, that is the culture of importance. The important questions, important material, important, and that kills the interest of having the knowledge based curriculum. And that is why we simply say, okay, read this much, you will pass the examination. So in assessment, teaching, learning, and assessment, we have to simply remove these things if we want to make knowledge-based society. We want everyone vibrant knowledge seeker, vibrant knowledge seeker. As soon as he find new word, he will look into it. He will try to find out the content for that particular thing. But in higher education, nowadays I have seen mostly the campuses in our general academic courses, we find the students appearing. And again in teacher education, we have the new fashion not to attend the classes. And simply they are the graduates, postgraduates in teacher education. So that we ought to think of. The last thing just I would like to include that we have the word pragya, not the knowledge. See, in Indian knowledge system, the pragya is more important, not the knowledge. What is the pragya? The pragya, it means the information that controls the behavior of the individual. Correct? The person who knows that, okay, by doing this particular thing, these are going to be harm, then he will simply restrict oneself, and he or she will restrict himself or herself, and he or she will not perform that particular task. That is called the pragya. And that is why we have the one example of almost Maharashtra. Na? One Guruji was there. The one mother took the child to that Guruji, and he or she simply mother asked Guruji that my son is eating more good, that is jaggery. And the Guru simply said, okay, please come after 7 days. And after 7 days, he left the good, and then he advised, this is called the pragya. We want the pragyavan. We don't want the simply information in our children, in our students. We want the pragya. The pragya is the out of knowledge. The pragya is not the simple one. Pragyavan, it means if you find someone pragyavan, there are numbers of gurus. Simply just you have the darshan, you have the numbers of things out. Even the gurus have not said any of the things, but you have the something out of him. And that is called the pragya. Sri Aurobindo has said aura. That is called the aura. Whenever it's a knowledge, the knowledge develops your aura. That is your power to attract those who are near to you. And that is why Sri Aurobindo has rightly said it's an aura. So that is why you see the Indian knowledge system is such in which the humans are restricted from any antisocial behavior. Any antisocial behavior. But nowadays, the Indian knowledge system is not there. We have forgotten all our paramparas. And that is why we find the crimes. Because even we know that this is not to be committed by me, we commit it. So we need the Pragyavan Samaj. And for the Pragyavan, we need to have inculcating or integrating the principles of Bharatiya Gyan Parampara. I used to say Bharatiya Gyan Parampara. Indian knowledge system is the word given, and that we know that by learning English, we can be very intelligent. And again, I must say, that is due to English only, just I am the hero. If I would not have English, I would be somewhere else, because the English only thing. I was doing my graduation in mathematics and statistics, but accidentally I took the English and I became the hero. And all those who had the mathematics and some other subjects, they are still there. So that is why for me, the English is beneficially and I am here. But at the same time, I say, no. If someone asks me, then I would like to interact in my own mother tongue first. And in Gujarat, I never make use of English. Even Patil sir and I, we are all together in Delhi. We never talk in English. We always talk in, sir talks in Marathi nicely. I understand. So that is, I say, okay, you keep on, you continue in Marathi, I will understand. But at the same time, it's a joy. Making use of our own language is a joy. And the joy, it means what? It is our Anandamay Kosh. That is Anandamay Kosh. And that relaxation you may have afterwards, that is, you can forget about it. So that is why I always say Anandmay Kosh is nothing. It's a beyond pragya. Whenever you are the pragya, then only you enjoy yourself, your deeds, your knowledge, the information, everything you can enjoy if it's a pragya. And we need pragya. We need pragyavan students. We need the pragyavan citizens. We need pragyavan society. We need pragyavan. Then and then we will have the Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. And this is what we need out of higher education. And this is the only in hands of higher education, because general interest, attitude, aptitude, and streaming can be done by school education. But the pragya can be brought only through higher education, inculcating the multidisciplinary approach in our own system, having integrated Bharatiya Gyan Parampara into it, and we can make ourselves be ready for facing the challenges of future generation. I am sure our students will face it, and you may find, not we, those who are above 50, they may, if they have Shatayu, but God knows what happens. But you may witness such a Bharat in which it's again we have Rama Rajya, the Rajya of Satayuga, not of Treta Yuga. I can say on Treta Yuga that Treta Yuga was different. And the one word used in Bharatnatya Shastra, that as and when the Gramya Dharma entered into human beings, then only the Kama, Krodha, Mad, and Moh, they entered into the civilization of the people. Then the Treta Yuga started. We are now in Kali Yuga, but we want back Satya Yuga. And for Satya Yuga, NEP 2020 is going to help us. And if we think of Viksit Bharat at a rate 2047, it is the only solution through Bharatiya Gnan Parampara, without which it is not possible, because the harmony is there. And we can think of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, none the else culture, and this is the only culture survived. And here there is no religion, there is no class, there is no creed, because knowledge is universal. And that's why, with these words, I thank my dear friend for being with you, and I am here with you. I'm going to be here with you up to tomorrow noon. So that is why we will have better interaction. And I wish my all beloved prospective teachers to be a real dut. huh? I will not use the ambassador, real dut of Bharatiya Gnan Parampara, and simply bring back Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. Thank you very much. So nice of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful and inspiring words for the teacher educators. It is indeed a pleasure to hear from you. Your views on the multidisciplinarity and importance of NEP 2020 will surely help in elevating the perspective of teachers and educators around. Again, thank you so much, sir. Now, to deepen the understanding of the theme of the symposium, we are privileged to have with us respected Dr. Prachi Rahul Chaudhary, ma'am. I kindly request ma'am to take the technical session. As we have already commenced the technical session, I would like to invite the president or chairperson of this event, Dr. Shingharoop sir, to take the seat on the dais. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. This one?
Now it's time to welcome our esteemed guests who have graced with us today for this technical session. For this, I kindly request Honorable Respected Dr. Suhas Kumar Patil sir to welcome and felicitate the chairperson of this technical session, Honorable Dr. Mayuresh Shingrup sir, Professor Jagdamba Mahavidyalaya Achalpur, by offering them a bouquet of flower. Thank you so much, sir.
Now, I kindly request ma'am to take the technical session.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today's guest, Karuna Ratne sir, Dr. Meena ma'am, Dr. Kamlesh Kumarji Pathak sir, all the dignities, and of course, all the honorable dignities of the dais, all the faculty members, all researchers and scholars. First of all, I'm very thankful to organizing committee of this international multidisciplinary conference, Government College of Education Yavatmal, Jagadamba Mahavidyalaya Achalpur City, BOS Education Sant Gadge Baba University Amravati, for inviting me here to communicate with you. Now, in this 2 days international multidisciplinary conference, on various approaches, we will focus on many different approaches have been brought from foundation education to higher education as per the NEP 2020. So very first, I have one question in my mind, that what is the need of National Education Policy 2020? It's not working. Yes. So when I think on that, very early, once I read a very famous statement of Nelson Mandela. The statement is that destroying any nation doesn't require the use of atomic bomb or the use of long range very powerful missiles, but it only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in examination by the students. So when we think on this statement, it is very clear that the quality of education is very important, and also the holistic development of students is also very important. So to improve the education quality and the holistic development of student, we require one new education policy, and that education policy is exactly the National Education Policy 2020. The education policy we have been following till now is 34 years old. That is the policy of 1986 or the policy of 1992, the plan of action of 1992. But now technology is changing at a rapid pace. The generation gap is narrowing very fast, and it is important to change the dimensions of education accordingly. So considering all these various aspects have been included in the National Education Policy 2020, which is announced by the Government of India on 29 July 2020. So this policy aims to transform India's education system to meet the need of the 21st century and introduces reforms at all levels of education, from school education to higher education. The vision of this national education policy is very broad: to create an inclusive, flexible, multidisciplinary, skill-based learning with an emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than the rote learning, and holistic education system that transform India into a global knowledge superpower while ensuring equity and excellence in education. The vision of this National Education Policy 2020 is to transform India's education system into a holistic, inclusive, accessible, and forward-looking system that aligns with the 21st century needs. So the policy envisions an education system that contributes to the sustainable development of the nation by fostering critical thinking, creativity, and lifelong learnings. So we all know that this education policy is based on the 5 pillars. That 5 pillars are access, equity, quality, accountability, and affordability. So in NEP 2020, the access to education. So access to education means ensuring that every child, irrespective of socio-economic background, gender, disability, or geographical location, has the opportunity to receive the quality education. It focuses on removing barriers that prevent children from attending schools and completing their education. So for that, universalization of education, bridging gaps in education, eliminating dropouts in education, then flexible learning models, infrastructure development, and technology for inclusion. All these things proposed in NEP 2020. Again, for doing the betterment in access to education, the ensuring 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030, expanding ECC to include all children from age group 3 years to onward, making secondary education universal up to grade 12. Then bridging gaps in education, for that the special focus on marginalized and disadvantaged groups. So all marginalized groups, tribal communities, rural children, girls, and children with disabilities, all that included. Then strengthening the Right to Education RTE Act, extending it from pre-primary up to the grade 12. Then eliminating dropout rates, that is bringing out of school children back to the education system through special programs and alternative learning centers, providing financial aids, scholarships, and midday meals to encourage students to stay in schools. And of course, we know that now in NEP 2020, the flexible learning model, that is multiple entry and exit options in higher education to ensure students don't permanently drop out. And again, the expansion of open and distance learning programs for students who cannot extend traditional schools. Then integration of vocational education at all levels to enhance employability. Then strengthening school infrastructure, digital connectivity, and all that. So this is all for the access to education. Then equity. So this picture itself indicates the meaning of equity. So equity means providing extra support based on individual needs, resources, and distributed based on the level of need. Fair education that removes barrier from disadvantaged students, giving extra help, that is scholarships, special programs to students from low-income groups or rural backgrounds. Then the third pillar is that the quality of education. The National Education Policy 2020, in quality in education, refers to providing holistic, multidisciplinary, and student-centric learning that prepares students with critical thinking, problem-solving skills, creativity, and global competencies. Then fourth is that the accountability in education. So it refers to ensuring that all stakeholders, teachers, school teachers, administrators, policymakers, and students take responsibility for improving educational system. The National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes clear roles, responsibilities, and measurable outcomes to ensure that the education system functions efficiently and effectively at all levels. Then the affordability in education. So for affordability in education, in NEP 2020, they recommends free and compulsory education to all, then financial support and scholarships, reduction of cost in higher education, affordable digital education and resources, vocational education and employment-oriented learning, and encouraging school-private partnerships. So till today, as time has changed, the various education commission and various policies have been coming, and according to that, the changes will be made in education. So after every policy, how it is implemented in education system, they prepare the national curriculum frameworks. And after that, every state prepared the state curriculum framework to implement all these facts in our education system to the grassroots. So up till now, the National Curriculum Framework in 1975, in 1988, 2000, 2005, and currently after NEP 2020, the first NCF for foundation stage was published in 2022. And after that, for school age education in 2023. So National Education Policy 2020 recommends 4 national curriculum frameworks. That is the curriculum framework for school education, curriculum framework for ECC, then curriculum framework for teacher education and for the adult education. So up till now, the 2 curriculum frameworks, that is for school education and for ECC, was published. And on that NCF, based on that NCF, our state government published the state curriculum frameworks for this education system. So how to implement all these points or all these facts in this education system. So basically, in our routine or in our previous curriculum framework, the framework is that 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 and all that. But now the curriculum framework and pedagogical framework is changed. This is a major change in NEP 2020. So that structure is that 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. I think we all are aware this framework. So this 5 is the foundation stage and it starts from the age group 3. So this is not included in previous structure. In previous structure, it starts from the age group 6. So this is the major change, that from age group 3 to age group 6, it included in the foundation stage, because the kids brain development is start from the age group 3. And of course, the rules and regulations and how to handle the child is given from 0 up to 3 age group also. But now in education system, the curriculum starts from the age group 3. Then the second stage is that the preparatory, that is from age group 8 to age group 11, from grade 3 to 5. And after that, the middle stage, that is age group 11 to 14, from grade 6 to grade 8. And after that, the secondary, that is from age group 14 to 18. So this middle stage and secondary stage, how few changes. So in middle stage, that is in class 3, grade 3, the vocational education starts. And in secondary stage, it divides into 2 parts. So part is from grade 9 and 10, and second part is that grade 11 and 12. So grade 11 and 12, in previous curriculum framework, there is a watertight compartment related to the streams. But now in NEP 2020, this is the major change, that this watertight compartment get released. It means that the science student also can take the subject of music, art, or of the commerce. So this is the major change. So as NCF for foundation stage in 2020 was published, and according to that, our state curriculum framework published the SCF for foundation stage in 24. So this state curriculum framework is based, of course, it is based on the NCF, and this SCF is based on the Panchakosha. What is Panchakosha? That is the 5 layers for the human being. 5 layers for the development of human being. That is the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. Just now, our keynote speaker tells that what is the Anandamaya Kosha and how it is important, that Anandamaya Kosha. So, the starting is from the foundation stage, that is from the age group 3. So, all these koshas are related to our education system or are related with our all educational domains. So this Annamaya Kosha is related to our physical domain. The Pranamaya Kosha is related, that is the pranic energy, development of energy. If our physical domain is good, is healthy, then only our Pranamaya Kosha, life energy, is strong. And the next kosha is that the Manomaya Kosha. If the Pranamaya Kosha is healthy, is good, is nice, then the emotional and mental development, that is the third layer, is developed. And after that, the intellectual development, that is the Vijanamaya Kosha. And after that, the Anandamaya Kosha. If our 4 koshas are good, then only the Anandamaya Kosha is developed nicely. So all these koshas, based on these all koshas, for foundation stage, of course, from foundation to higher education, 5 domains are related to our education system. So first domain is that the physical development. Then second domain is that the socio-emotional and ethical development. Then third domain is that the cognitive development. Fourth domain is that the language and literacy development. Fifth domain is that the aesthetic and cultural development. And this fifth domain is subdivided into subdomain, that is the positive learning habits. So based on these 5 domains, whole foundation stage created the curriculum and the pedagogical structure for foundation stage. So related to this every domain, in SCF, they develop the curricular goals. Because as we have to develop holistic development of students, then we have to develop their curricular goals related to that particular domains. So for physical domain, physical development, they develop the curricular goals, and along with that curricular goals, they gives the competencies for that curricular goals, and from competencies, they develop the learning outcomes. And for achieving these learning outcomes, teacher have to create the learning experiences, activities for the students. And using that activities, teacher have to achieve the learning outcome, then how to achieve the competencies related to that domain, and according to that, to achieve the curricular goal. And of course, all these curricular goals, if achieved, then automatically the aim of education will get succeed. So based on these 5 domains, development of these 5 domains, the transformation in education system in schools, that is the transformation with multidisciplinary and holistic education, then critical thinking and creative thinking, and of course the conceptual understanding rather than the rote learning. And this is the major change in curricular and pedagogical transformation. So as the aim of education decided, from that the curricular goals decided, after that the competencies decided, and then the learning outcomes. So based on this, the curriculum structure, the curriculum, whole curriculum will be decided. So while deciding this curriculum, we have to follow these 5 steps. The 5 steps are that Aditi, Bodha, Abhyasa, Prayoga, and Prasara. So all these are the Sanskrit words. The meaning of that is Aditi means the introduction, means you have to introduce the basic concepts or the new concept. After that, understanding of this basic concept or conceptual understanding of this concept, then the practice, after that the application of this concept, and then the expansion of this concept. So when this 5-step process begins, then we achieve easily the curricular goal of that stage. So introduction, conceptual understanding, practice, application, and expansion. So while giving the learning experiences related to that learning outcome to achieve the curricular goals, we have to follow these 5 steps. So based on these 5 domains in SCF, for the physical domain, they give the 3 curricular goals. For physical development, the first goal is that the children develop habits and keep them healthy and safe. So related to this curricular goal, they develop the competencies. Suppose develop the 6 competencies, and related to that competencies, they develop the learning outcomes in the curriculum framework and the learning experiences. So related to these 5 domains, that is socio-economic and ethical development, cognitive development, language and literacy development, and aesthetic and cultural development, the curricular goals are fixed. But all these curricular goals are related to each other because the learning experience which are giving in the classroom by teacher, all this is integrated with these domains, domains each other. After that, NCF for school education was published in 2023. And according to that, our state curriculum framework was published in 24. So according to this SCF, that is state curriculum framework for school education, it includes the 5 major sectors. First is the approaches. Then second is the cross-cutting areas, school subjects and school culture. And last one is that the assessment. So NEP introduces the major change in the assessment patterns. So all these 5 areas are very important one. We just discuss few of them. First thing is that the cross-cutting areas. So in cross-cutting areas, it gives the ICAS, Indian knowledge system, then values and dispositions, learning about and caring for the environment, then inclusion in schools, educational technology in schools, and guidance and counseling in schools. So as we know all that the Indian knowledge system is, of course, it is the ancient knowledge system, but NEP tells that in every school subject, the Indian knowledge system, we have to integrate as per the subject, as per the concept, Wherever there is necessary or wherever there is possible, then we have to introduce this Indian knowledge system with the subject. And suppose the science is the subject and it includes the agriculture, then our India have the ancient knowledge of agriculture, then you have to integrate that knowledge with that agriculture subject. Here is one small video. We have to run it. Just run it from that. No, no. Go on the slide. Then there is a yes. As we know that what is Indian knowledge system or what is the Gurukul system, but here the Indian knowledge system and the today's education system is integrated. So as in India, in ancient, there is a Gurukul system, but now it teaches all the topics in classroom. Of course, this is the explanation that is given for the airplane. This is the medicinal field in ancient time. It's okay. Stop that. So the meaning is that if our Indian knowledge system have a great culture, great knowledge system, then we have to introduce it, integrated it in our school subjects from foundation stage up to the higher stage. In higher stage, there is a special subject of Indian knowledge system, but from school subjects, it is integrated in every subject. If the geography is, history is, art, culture is, music is, then we have to introduce that Indian knowledge system related to that subject, related to that concept. Then second is that the values and dispositions. As we know, the values are inbuilt in our Indians. And of course, in previous curriculum framework or previous education system, this value education is the special subject. But after that, this value education system is integrated with the all related subjects. And now in NEP 2020, the focus is on these values and dispositions. And of course, it is integrated with every subject, with every topic. That teacher have to introduce all the values with your day-to-day regular teaching. So can you play this? So just so I think all these values, we all Indians are in built.
So this is all the values and dispositions. So we have to integrated all these values and dispositions in our school subjects and related to the concepts. So the major change in the school subjects up to 12th standard. So as this structure is introduced in NCF for school education, for school subjects, that is the languages. Of course, they follow the three language formula, that is L1, L2, and L3. Then mathematics and computing, then science and social science, and then art education, music, environmental education, physical education, and vocational education. Of course, all these subjects are up to the 12th standard. So this is all about the standard 6. But art education, environmental education, physical education, and vocational education. So vocational education will start from the standard 6. And according to this structure curriculum framework, our SCF, our state government, decide this framework for the school system for our Maharashtra state. So for 3rd to 5th, that is for preparatory stage, the three languages, that is R1, R2, R3, then maths and science and social science. And again for the vocational education, art education, and physical education. As we know that, we say that the vocational education will start from the standard 6, but here they say that the vocational education, Vyavsayic Shikshan, is from 3rd to 5th also. So it means that this vocational education is not directly start from the standard 6, but it is start from the skill base from standard 3. The starting of this vocational education, the related skills for that particular vocational education will start from the standard 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then after that, in 6th to 8th, again, the three languages are there. That is Marathi is compulsory for Maharashtra state. Then English, and third language is that the second Indian language, but which is not the R1. So it may be Hindi or Sanskrit, or maybe the languages which are Indian, that is Urdu, Gujarati, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Sindhi, Bengali, Punjabi, and all that. Or you may take the composite languages, that is with Hindi, you are partially take the Sanskrit or the other language. So as usual, the math, science, history and geography, and the vocational courses, pre-vocational courses, then art education, then physical education, and all that. So this is all for the up to 8th standard. But from 9th to 12th, it divides into two parts. So for 9 to 10, from these 8 areas, student have to choose the two subjects, which are that 8 areas, that is humanity, mathematics and computing, vocational education, physical education, art education, social science, science, and interdisciplinary areas. So according to this pattern from NCF, our state government decided this pattern for part 1, for secondary part 1. That is the three language formula. Of course, after that, the maths, science, social sciences, vocational education, art education, physical education, and interdisciplinary areas. The subject which are related to the interdisciplinary areas. That is for 9th standard, individuals from the society, and the environmental education. So this is up to the 10th
10th grade. And here the scout and guide is the compulsory subject. Now, the major change which is given for the second part, that is for grade 11 and grade 12. So from these areas, that is 8 areas, humanities, social science, science, mathematics and computing, arts, vocational education, sports, and interdisciplinary areas. From these 8 areas, out of these 8 areas, students have to select 2 subjects from the 4 areas. And they have to select 3 areas, 3 different areas, 2 subjects from 3 different areas, and 2 subjects may be either from the different area or from these 3 selected areas. So according to this, which is given in NCF, our SCF decided this structure for Maharashtra. So in that, the first subject is Marathi. It means that for 11th and 12th grade also, Marathi is compulsory. So Marathi is compulsory from foundation stage up to the middle stage. Then the second language is the different one. It may be from Hindi, Gujarati, Kannada, Tamil, or English, advanced English, German, French, Russian, Japanese, and all that. So student may have to select the second language from the foreign languages. Then third, fourth, fifth, and sixth subject is from this group 2, 3, and 4. It means that if the student select the mathematics and computing is the first subject, and related to that, physics, chemistry, and biology is the second group, then with this group, student may have to select the art education, that is the music or the dance, or he may choose from the physical education, subject from the physical education, or from the vocational education, or from the social science. And the fourth group is that for subject 8 and 9, it is compulsory one, that is the environmental education and water security. And again, the physical education. So all these 2 subjects are compulsory for grade 12 also. As it is compulsory from foundation stage at their age group, but it is still compulsory up to the grade 12. That is environmental education and water security and physical education. So the students from science or from arts, they may take the subject as science and arts, or the science and commerce also, commerce subject also. And the interdisciplinary areas, from interdisciplinary areas, they given the so many subjects. So student may select out of this subject any one subject, that is environmental science, general knowledge, child development, education, logic, home management, textile and clothing, food science and technology, agricultural science and technology, and like that. And in art education, of course, they introduces those so many subjects, that is drawing, designing, coloring, pictorial presentation, history of art and appreciations, history and development of Indian music, vocational light music, and all that. And for vocational education, again they introduces the so many subjects, that is multi-skill technicians, that is electrical, multi-skill technicians for food processing and preservations, electronic field technicians, power distribution lineman, and all that. So this is the very long list for vocational education and interdisciplinary education and all that. Okay. So again, the third area, main area, is that the school culture and school processes. So every school, college have their culture, And in NEP 2020, and of course from that, the SCF, the school culture and school processes are important one, and they give the importance to school culture and school processes. So we just see one small video for this school processes and school culture. So as per this school culture and school process, every school have to develop our school culture strongly. So of course, these all points are mentioned in NEP 2020. Now, the last one is that the assessment. So, NEP 2020 gives the very broad view about the assessment. So, assessment, that is 360-degree holistic assessment. It means that the assessment of learning, assessment as learning, and assessment for learning. So these three concepts is given by the NEP 2020, and according to that we have to assess the every student, and it introduces, that is the formative assessment and summative assessment. So related to that, Parakh introduces the holistic progress card also. So as per Parakh, the large scale assessment, school based assessment, and examination reforms. So in large scale assessment, they gives these types of assessment, that is the assessment national achievement survey NAS, then the program for international student assessment, that PISA, and trends in international mathematics and science study, that is TEAMS, and progress in international reading literacy and study, that is PEARLS. So all these international assessments introduces by Parakh, and also Parakh introduces the holistic progress card. So in holistic progress card, all the 360-degree angle assessment is given, and it is start from the foundation stage up to the secondary stage, that is up to grade 12. So up till now, the assessment is only done by teachers, and progress in our progress card, only the quantitative things are mentioned. Very few the qualitative wordings or the qualitative analysis is given on the progress card. But now in this progress card, that is holistic progress card, the assessment is done by the teacher. The activity which is given in textbook or which is done in the classroom, then teacher assess that activity in 3 by 3 rubric. The rubric is continuous professional development is compulsory. That is the 50 hours professional development for every year. And in this continuous professional development, every teacher or every administrator have the 50 hours of this professional development, and which is maybe they do the short term courses from all these online platforms, or maybe the short duration offline courses also, or they may register the different conferences and all that. So this is all the continuous professional development which is introduced in national curriculum in NEP 2020. And again, the NPST, that is National Professional Standards for Teacher, this concept is also introduces in NEP 2020. So this is all about the national NEP 2020. So again, for teacher education, they introduces the curriculum framework for teacher education, and just now they introduces the policies, few terms and conditions for the teacher education. So this is all about the National Education Policy 2020 and the major changes or the reforms or the transformations in our education system related to the National Education Policy 2020. So thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful technical session. It is indeed an honor to hear from you the importance of structured curriculum of NEP 2020 and NCF as well. Thank you so much, ma'am, again. Now, we are honored to have with us the chairperson of this technical session, Honorable Dr. Mayuresh Shingrup sir. May I kindly request the respected sir to give the presidential address. Please, sir.
Thank you. Respected dignitaries of the dais, professors, faculty members, and dear students. First of all, I must congratulate to Dr. Prachi Chaudhary madam for such a thought-provoking session and provided a very key highlights, including NEP 2020. There are certain parameters on which NEP is based, like Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, that is Indian knowledge system, which is based on Drishti, that is the way of Indian perception, Parampara, a rich tradition of our culture, and last one, that is the Laukik Prayojana, that how we can use our traditional knowledge to solve the current problems. The second element, that is the skill development, which plays a very significant role in NEP. The government of India has taken a lot of initiative for providing a skill platform to the higher education. The government has developed the Skill India portal. More than 70 sectors are working for Skill India. The third one is, that is the academic leadership, governance and management, which plays a very significant role for implementation of the NEP 2020. And the last one, that is the research and innovations, which creates a very significant role for creating the platform and providing the opportunity for the students. Madam also highlights the significance of curriculum development as well as curriculum framework. Our curriculum must be aligned with the industry so that a maximum number of students will get the placement. I extended my thanks to organizing committee for providing me the opportunity to chair a session in 2 days international conference in various approaches in education. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the presidential address. As the technical session is over, now I request all the respected dignitaries to take their seats on the stage. So please take your seats on the stage. Thank you so much, everyone. Before we conclude today's inaugural session, we would like to express our gratitude to all those who have worked tirelessly to make this conference a reality. To formally conclude this session, I kindly request and invite respected Dr. Mayuresh Singharupshar, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, on behalf of Jagdamba Mahavidyalaya, I, Dr. Mayuresh Shingrup, take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. I extended my sincere thanks to Honorable Respected Dr. Meena Chandavarkar Madam for providing and presence at the occasion and providing us with a thoughtful session. I also extended my sincere thanks to our keynote address, Professor Dr. Kalpesh Kumar Pathak sir. This session is really an eye-opener session and a vibrant session. I extended my sincere thanks to our keynote address, that is Dr. Karuna Ratne sir. I also extended my sincere thanks to श्री रमाकांतजी शेरेकर सर, President Jagadamba Vinkar Shikshan Sanstha, Achalpur City. I also extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Suhas Kumar Patil sir, member NCT New Delhi, member BOS and principal Government Education College, Yavatmal. I also extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Avinash Kohole sir, principal Jagadamba Mahavidyalaya. I also extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Amit Gawande sir, member BOS. I also extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Nilima Ambadkar madam, member BOS SGB Amravati University and principal of SSMM B.ed College, Nandgaon. I also extended my sincere thanks to Dr. Gajanan Sharma sir, member BOS and principal at MST Chopra B.ed College, Khamgaon. I also extended my sincere thanks to keynote address Dr. Prachi Chaudhary madam, a motivational speaker from Pune. I also extended my sincere thanks to all the professors, scientists, educationists, faculty members, students. Not but the least, I also extended my sincere thanks to the entire organizing committee who have taken a painful efforts for organizing such a successful conference. In a 2 days, I am really expecting a lot of treasure of knowledge from these conferences. And lastly, I extended my sincere thanks to the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now that we have already inaugurated the conference successfully, it's time to take a break and some refreshment. I would like to invite our esteemed guests and participants to join us for the lunch. Our student will guide you for the area and we will shortly meet after the lunch. Thank you, everyone. We will meet after lunch for the parallel session. Okay. We will meet after lunch for the offline parallel session. Is here.
We will proceed to take the offline session here in the same place, and the online parallel session will be conducted on the other conference hall.